But in the meantime, guys, Matthew Stafford, yes, you remember him. And you know Kelly Stafford. She has a podcast. I think it's called The Morning After. And she does it with our local guy here, Hank Winchester. We love Hank. So Hank and Mrs. Stafford have their interview, and guess what? They had Matthew Stafford in this past week. And Hank got on the subject of our own Detroit Lions. Give it a listen.
I mean, you know, being here in Detroit, it would be crazy if I didn't ask you this, but what do you think about Dan Campbell? I mean, people always just talk about what an incredible coach he is, and it just seems like you two would have an incredible rhythm because I like his energy.
Yeah, no, he's from afar. Seems like a player's coach. Guys love playing for him. You know, he's aggressive as it gets.
Which is gotta be fun as a player.
That's what I'm saying. Like, feel like your coach is putting the ball in your hand. I got a chance to talk to him before I left. He just wanted to talk to me a little bit, pick my brain about some of the stuff around there, and I spent an hour, maybe an hour and a half talking to him. And
I remember you.
I came away. I was like, man, I don't know, you know, what the team will look like, whatever, but he's a engaging guy to talk to. I think he does a great job with the media, and then obviously does a great job in his locker room. He cares a lot, and I think one of the biggest things that head coaches that have success in the league is authentic, and that can be you can be authentic and be Dan Campbell, or you can be authentic and be Andy Reid, and they're just polar opposites, right? But it plays in the locker room because you can't sit there and fake it. There's too many eyes on you. Guys will call you out, and it won't work. And those guys are two of the most like authentic guys as it gets, and it works for their team.
Were you surprised by the Lions' success this year?
No, I thought they were built for it. No, I mean, you never know how far they're going to go, all that, but like the fact that they're a good team, that didn't surprise me at all. I mean, that their offensive line is really talented. When they got both the backs going, Jared was playing at a really good clip. It takes some emergence, right? Like it takes that rookie class that they had was really, really good. I mean, I put it up against, ours was great as well. Two of the teams that had success in the league had a bunch of rookies that were playing at a high clip, and those guys showed up for their team for sure.
Is the issue now, though, and Kelly mentioned this before, and Campbell did it in a way, too, they can't fly under the radar anymore.
Yeah, you're going to get everybody's best shot.
Cat's out of the bag.
Yeah, but you know what? You're getting everybody's best shot in the playoffs, and they handled themselves fine. So,
here you go. A little snippet from the Kelly Stafford and Hank Winchester Morning After podcast. They had Matthew on. Anson, you heard some of that, and basically Hank asked them some Detroit-centric, some Lion questions, asked him about Dan Campbell, what kind of coach he was. And Matthew says, well, obviously, he looks like he's a player's coach, especially from afar. I don't really know him that well. But before Matthew left Detroit, he spent like an hour and a half talking with Dan Campbell. Dan Campbell picked his brain on the team and what he can look forward to with this club.
I mean, I would hope that somebody would do that. That a good coach would do that. I'm still bitter at Matt Stafford. I have been I've been a Matt Stafford apologist, supporter. I have trumpeted the fact that he will be in the Hall of Fame even before he won his ring. But I am a patriotic Detroiter. I love my city. Yeah. And when you're given an opportunity, and I understand the emotional state that he was in when he was given that question about being happy for the Detroit fans, and he went out of his way to not say that he was happy for them. I get it, man. You're upset. You just lost a game that you played really well.
His wife got in his ear prior to that. You know that.
And you honestly, though, you just watch somebody do something that you could never do your entire career, which is win a playoff game here in Detroit. He wanted that game bad, and he was bitter. Yeah. But I'm going to tell you this. All the people in Detroit that were wearing Detroit Rams shirts when he made his run that were supporting him without question.
They meant well.
Yeah, and I'm sorry. You had your opportunity. I don't care how butthurt you were over the loss. You squandered it. And you lost me as a fan forever, flat out.
Yeah, I mean, that's fair. You know, like you said, you talked about, I saw your sentiment when you were talking to D-Mac just 2 seconds ago. You love your city, you love Detroit. I agree 100%. It's just one of those things. We're playing devil's advocate. You know, you're looking at a guy, obviously, who couldn't get it done, like you said. There's a little bit of jealousy there in Jared Goff and what the Lions were able to accomplish. He's a girl dad, you know, and Kelly's in his ear. We all know Kelly. You know, we know how she is with Matt. Matt, as you should. He's a husband.
Yeah.
You got to take after your girls. Got to take care of your girls. And, you know, if you get a little verbiage in your ear, like, oh my God, you cannot believe they were doing this and they blah blah blah. I think in a moment I've had. Let's put it this way. There was a situation that I got into with another athlete, not even him, but a friend of his, if you will. When the athlete was asked about it, like he was asked spur of the moment, just getting information, and he made some comments that he shouldn't have made, and had nothing to do with me. He was wrong about the comments, but I never really checked it. I was like, you know what? It's in the moment. It was heat in the moment. You get it. So I think in the heat of the moment, you're getting some information. Like he felt the type of way, and he reacted. He's coming off a loss. He's pissed. He had 347 yards, 2 touchdowns, blah,
he played
blah.
well.
But here's why I agree with you, Anderson, is a day later, 2 days later, a week later, this interview, now is your chance to say, hey, you know what, look, in the heat of the moment, you know, look, I should have said, you know, congratulations, see, I just got my ass whooped by the team. I didn't want to do that. That never happened.
Never.
And that's where you bring up the Detroit Rams, which I thought was the silliest thing of all time. But a lot of people
understand it a little, don't you?
I do. No, 100%. I understand it. I support it. I understand now from that point because he didn't come back. He didn't come back to the podium. He didn't come back to the podcast. He didn't come back to Twitter and say, I could have done things differently. He stood on it. So when you stand on it, now I agree with Anson and all the other Detroit fans is like, well, I'm going to stand on my opinion. You F you or screw you, however you want to do it. So I agree with Anson.
The look on his face during that interview was the same look he had on his face after he got his ass whooped in Detroit.
He didn't want to talk about if Hank didn't bring up the Lions, Kelly certainly wasn't going to bring up
to be fair, though, being a Lion's a very difficult and hard memory for the majority of past Lions. And for it to go, I mean, he's still got his ring, but for it to go the way that he always wanted it to go, but for somebody else, that's a tough pill to swallow, and he's certainly not looking to swallow it anytime soon.
And man, he just ended up. I gotta stop agreeing with Anderson. What is going on today, man?
I know we
never
might have became best friends today.
100%, we're agreeing on everything.
Well, once he saw you go 120 miles an hour,
he became my friend.
That's it.
He became my friend. I think it's when he heard about how bad the Ohio State fans were around Cleveland.
Exactly.
But you said it again. You got your ring. There's no reason to hate. Like if Matt Stafford would have went out to Los Angeles, made the playoffs, didn't win a playoff game, or won one playoff game, I somewhat get it a little bit. You won a Super Bowl.
No reason to be bitter.
No reason.
We set you free.
We set you free. You got a ring, and now you're definitely getting into the Hall of Fame. Like, there's no reason to be bitter, especially a month later. There's no reason for that.
No, not at all. And I guess he's going to carry that with him. You know, it's going to be part of him.
He clearly never understood the Detroit fan base. Period.
Yeah, this is true. And now it's sour taste. Because I actually thought Matt would probably retire in Michigan. I was thinking he'd move back or something, but now you know it's Texas or LA.
That didn't happen.
Yeah, it's Texas or LA. He's a Texan, right? So yeah, Texas or LA.
We'll see, man. But Jared Goff outdueled him that day, and it's probably gonna burn him for a long time. There's no doubt about it.